Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava Metzia, page 52a, part 2, with the words Amar Mar, Besela ad Shekel. The Gemara continues its analysis of the Braita. The master said, with regard to a sela, it can be used as a sela until it erodes so that its value reaches 1 shekel, which is half a sela. With regard to a dinar, it can be used as a dinar until it erodes so that its value reaches 1/4. The Gemara asks, what is different whereby, with regard to a sela, it can be used as a sela until it erodes so that its value reaches 1 shekel, which is half a sela, and what is different whereby, with regard to a dinar, it can be used as a dinar until it erodes so that its value reaches 1/4. Abaye says, what is the meaning of rova that the Braita teaches? It too is referring to a coin called rova, which is worth 1/4 of a shekel, which is half a dinar. Rava said the language of the Braita is also precise in this regard, as the Tana teaches rova and does not teach 1/4, revia. The Gemara concludes, learn from that inference that the reference of the Tana of the Braita is to the coin called rova, which is half a dinar. The Gemara asks, why does the Tana state his ruling so that the amount of erosion that disqualifies a dinar is dependent on a shekel? Why does the Tana state the measure as 1/4 of a shekel rather than starting it as 1/2 of a dinar? The Gemara explains, by doing so, the Tana teaches us a matter in passing, Agav Orche Kamash Malan, that there are cases where a dinar originates from a shekel, meaning a shekel that eroded and is now worth 1/2 its original value, meaning 1 dinar. This supports the opinion of Rabbi Ami, as Rabbi Ami says, with regard to a dinar that originated from a shekel, it is permitted to maintain it and use it as a dinar. Based on its size and shape, there is no concern that people will confuse it with a shekel. With regard to a dinar that originated from a sela, it is prohibited to maintain it and use it as a dinar, due to the fact that even after erosion, the coin remains the size of a sela, which is clearly larger than a dinar. The concern is that people will mistakenly consider it more valuable than a dinar. The Gemara continues its analysis of the Braita, which teaches, once it eroded to the point where its value reaches an isar less than that, it is prohibited to spend it. The Gemara asks, what is the Tana saying in that statement? Abaya said that this is what the Tana is saying. If a sela eroded by the amount of an isar greater than the measure of exploitation, it is prohibited to spend it at its original value. Rava said to Abaya, if so, then even any amount greater than the measure of exploitation should be forbidden as well. Rather, Rava said that this is what the Tana is saying. If a sela eroded by the amount of an isar per dinar, it is prohibited to spend it, and this unattributed Braita is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Meir, who says in the Mishnah that the measure of exploitation is 1 isar per dinar. We learned in the Mishnah there in Kalim 12:7, a sela that was invalidated for use as a coin, and an individual designated it so that he would weigh with it items and require weighing, is susceptible to becoming ritually impure. His designation rendered it a vessel like any other weight. To what extent can the coin erode, and it will still be permitted to maintain it? For a sela, it is an erosion of 2 dinars, half its value. If it eroded to an extent that it was worthless, then that he must cut it into pieces and prevent its being confused with a proper coin. The Gemara asks, if it eroded but its current value is greater than 1 shekel, what is the halacha? Rav Huna says, if it eroded and depreciated less than 1 shekel, he must cut it into pieces, and if it eroded and depreciated more than that, he must also cut it into pieces. Rabbi Ami says, if it eroded and depreciated less than 1 shekel, he must cut it into pieces, and if it eroded and depreciated more than that, he may maintain it, because there is no concern that one will confuse a coin that eroded to that extent with a selah. Meisvei, the Gemara raises an objection from the Braita.